Hi everyone. So let's take a look at the first page of the Chapter 6 test review for your test that's coming up this Friday. This whole first section says expand and simplify. Remember that when you have parentheses that are being squared like this one is, that means you need to square the whole parenthesis. And to square means to multiply something by itself. So when I say to square y minus 11, what I really mean is to take y minus 11 and multiply by itself. Okay, and you can do this multiplication in one of two ways. We talked about two different ways to do it. You could either use the FOIL method, which is really just like the distributive property, like multiply these, multiply these, multiply these, multiply these, or you could use the box method. I'm going to do this first one with the box method because many of my students seem to prefer that. Oops, could have made those boxes a little more even. So if my two things that I'm multiplying are y minus 11 and y minus 11, this is how I would set up my boxes. A y and a negative 11. And then I'm going to multiply the two things together. So for example, here I'm going to do y times y and put my answer here. That would be y squared. Y times negative 11 would give me negative 11y. Negative 11 times y would give me another negative 11y. And negative 11 times negative 11 gives me positive 121. So when I write out my final answer, it looks like this. Y squared minus 22y plus 121. And that's it. That's your final answer. That's simplified. So the next one is going to work just like that. I'm going to do 3x plus 4 and expand it. So 3x plus 4 times 3x plus 4. And I'll do this one with the more traditional FOIL method. So I start with first and first, so 3x times 3x. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and x times x is x squared. So 3x times 3x gives me 9x squared. Then I'm going to distribute the 3x over here to the 4, so that would give me 12x. Then I've got 4 times 3x, which is another 12x. And at the end, 4 times 4, which is 16. Should go ahead and combine those ones in the middle. And so as a final answer, I get 9x squared plus 24x plus 16. Okay, so taking a look at number 3, the big mistake I see with problems like this one are you're so ingrained in the idea of doing the distributive property that people want to distribute right away and then worry about the squaring. Well, remember, if you're doing order of operations, you have to square before you multiply. So what I actually want to do first is just the t minus 5 squared, and then worry about the 9. So I'm going to set up a box for my t minus 5 squared. Again, you could use FOIL if you wanted to. So this would be t and minus 5, t and minus 5. And when I multiply those out, I get t squared minus 5t. Down here, this would be another minus 5t. And then minus 5 times minus 5 is positive 25. So I get t squared minus 10t plus 25. Now, I still have to worry about this 9. So I'm going to take this whole thing and distribute a 9. And so final answer for that would be 9t squared minus 90t plus, let's see, that's going to be, I think, 225. 9 times 25. Okay, and there would be your final answer for that one. Okay, now number 4 is a tough one. And actually, I didn't think about the fact that you really haven't done them yet with 2 letters. It really doesn't change your process, but you're just not used to working with 2 letters in the same problem like that. So you might have thought this one was harder than it really is. I'll kind of show you how to set it up, though. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, following order of operations, is do my squaring. So I'm going to do a plus b squared and a minus b squared. Okay, and I guess I'll write it out with FOIL. So this is going to be 3, my 2 parentheses, a plus b times a plus b, minus 4 times a minus b times a minus b. Okay, now I'm going to FOIL here and FOIL here. So here, this is going to leave me with a times a is a squared. A times b, we can just write as positive ab. That's the part that you might not be super familiar with. For inside, b times a, I could write it as ba, but I'm going to write it as ab so that I recognize that it's the same as that ab I just wrote a second ago. And then last would be b times b, which is b squared. And then let's not forget that we have a 3 still sitting in front of that. And then we have a minus 4, parentheses, and now I'm going to do my other FOIL. So, again, a times a makes a squared. A times negative b gives me minus ab. Negative b times a also gives me negative ab. And negative b times negative b gives me positive b squared. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and simplify those. Shrink this up some. So off to the side over here. I'm not distributing yet. I'm going to take a step and just do combine like my ABs here and my ABs here. So this is now a squared plus 2ab plus b squared minus 4, and then let's do the same thing over here. I'm just going to combine my ABs. So I'll have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, now let's distribute. So I'm going to take this 3 and distribute to all of these. I'm going to take this negative 4, distribute to all these. Remember to treat that as a negative 4. So that's going to give me 3a squared plus 6ab plus 3b squared. And then here I'm going to distribute negative 4, so that first one will become negative 4a squared. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8ab. And then negative 4 times b squared is negative 4b squared. Okay, let's look for our like terms. So I have 3a squared minus 4a squared, so that's going to give me negative 1a squared. Okay, so I use those. I have a 6ab and an 8ab, so that's going to give me 14 ABs. And then I have a 3b squared minus 4b squared. Again, 3 minus 4 is negative 1, so that would be negative 1b squared. So that's what your final answer would look like. Okay, so that one's kind of a rough one, a lot of steps there, but as long as you follow all of your rules and all of your order of operations and everything, you should be good to go on that one. Okay, my very favorite question, the picture frame question. Okay, we've got a photograph that's 20 inches by 36 inches. I didn't leave myself very much picture drawing room here. Okay, so here's the picture I'm working with. I've got a 20 by 36 photograph surrounded by a frame W inches wide. And I want the area of the entire rectangle, which means this whole area in here. Okay, and the only way to find area of that big rectangle is to do this length by this width. So, when I go to find the length of this side, from here to here would have to be 36 because it would match with the rectangle. And then I have a little W on each side. What that means is that the length of this side would be 36 plus 2W. And people get really confused there on whether they should be adding or if they should make that 36W squared. You're not multiplying anything together. You're just adding up the pieces to get that length. So that's why we would write this as 36 plus 2W. And then same thing over here. If I was to add up all those pieces, this would be 20 plus 2W. And so now what I want to do to find area is multiply these two crazy things together. So area equals 36 plus 2W times 20 plus 2W. And you could use foil. I'm going to do this one with a box just to appease those of you who enjoy that box method. So if I was going to do this with a box, didn't leave myself much room on top there. Oh, well, it'll have to work. So we'll say this up here is 36 and 2W. I know that's hard to see. Down here would be 20 and 2W. Let's zoom that in so I can actually write in the boxes. So 36 times 20, let's see, that's going to be 720. Yes. Okay, 20 times 2W is 40W. 2W times 36 is 72W. And 2W times 2W is 4W squared. So when I put all of that together, I'm left with an answer, and I'm going to write my answer in standard form of 4W squared plus, let's add these together, so that's 112W, and then plus 720. Okay? All right, let's go on to part B. Part B says, if that frame is actually 4 inches, what is the total area? Well, you already have an expression for the total area, so now all you need to do is plug in the 4. So I would say area is 4 times 4 squared plus 112 times 4 plus 720. Oh gosh, let's see if I can do this. Okay, that would come out to a grand total of 1,132. Whoops, sorry, my mistake. Not 1132, that would be 1232. So 1,232 square inches for your final answer on that one. Okay, so looking at number 6, we have a rectangular dog pen and a square dog pen. And I want them to have the same area. I want my dog to have the same amount of space in either pen. So I know that this first dog pen is 12 feet by 8 feet. So the area of this one would be just 12 times 8, which is 96. Now for the other dog pen, the square, I don't know the side length, so I'm just going to call the side length X, which means all of my side lengths are equal to X. And so if I wanted to find the area of this one, I would do X times X, which is actually equal to X squared. So now what I know is I want this to match this. I want the two areas to be exactly the same. So I'm going to say 96 has to equal X squared. And then I'm going to take a square root on both sides. And I'm left with, oh gosh, 9 point something. Hold on. Okay, that's going to round up to 9.8. So the length of the side of your square would be like 9.8 feet. And the dog should have roughly the same amount of area. Okay, one more on this page. Whoops. Okay, finally, last one. So there's another making two shapes equivalent problem. So this is going to be really similar to what we did up here in number 6. This time I have my rectangular pan that is 9 inches by 13. This time I want it equivalent to a circle. So the area of this rectangle would be 9 times 13, which is, let's see, 90 and 27. Believe it would be 117 square inches. Let's see, 90. Yeah, 117. For my circle, I know that I'm looking for the radius, so I'm going to call that like R or X, or it's what you're looking for, so you want to use a variable. But your area of a circle, remember this from geometry, is found by doing pi r squared. So when I go to set up my equation, or when I go to solve, let's see, I know that I want 117 to equal pi r squared. Then let's divide by pi on each side. That comes out to be like 37.2. So 37.2 is now equal to just r squared. And from there, you've got the same thing we had up above. Now we can just take a square root of it. It's going to come out to be 6 point something. Hold on. So that comes out to be like 6.1. Not 61. 6.1 would be the radius of my circle. So if I wanted about the same area inside my pan, I would need a radius of a little over 6 inches for that to work. Okay, next video we'll pick up with the big table on the back of this page.